Recently, I did a Q&A, and a lot of you were asking, after that video, asking more questions, specifically about what we do for newcomers every first Sunday of the month. So I'm going to answer this as briefly as possible. I also want to make this as vague as possible because I've kind of noticed this about some pastors. We just like to copy and paste, and I just don't think that's very helpful. I think it's great for you to figure out what does this mean for you and your context, and what kind of words and values will you communicate. But I do want to answer it. Thank you for those who comment on this channel. It means the world. Honestly, I care more about the comment number than the view number. I just want to be interacting with you guys. And sometimes I've been posting videos lately with like 0 comments. I'm like, what did I do wrong? But let's keep moving. So every first Sunday of the month, we call it Party with the Pastors. This is not original to us. I think a lot of people do it. Give credit to Mike Santiago and his Breaking 200 course. He does something similar, Party with the Pastors. I know another Church Boom, they use Pizza with the Pastors. And so all of that to say, we are not reinventing the wheel. Here is what we've learned in that process. We started this about a little over a year ago. We just decided, no matter what, every first Sunday of the month after service, we're going to give a 20-minute presentation so that if you're new, if you feel new, you can kind of get to know us a little bit more, and we kind of share what we do at Passion Creek. Now, and when we first started this, we did a whole intricate, our vision, strategy, methods, so much. We poured a lot, and it really got into the weeds. It became more about strategy. It was honestly like, hey, this is great stuff, but maybe let's reserve this for membership. They're just trying to figure out if they're even remotely interested in staying around. And so we kind of pivoted a few months in. And by the way, let me speak to this fear. We had a fear when we were starting this. I don't know if people are going to show up. What if one person shows up? And we've learned that's okay. In fact, we've been shocked. We've always had people show up. Multiple people show up. It was a great step of faith. I think John Wimber is the one who says faith is spelled R-I-S-K. And it was a risk for us to declare every first Sunday of the month, we're going to expect visitors. And so we're going to expect you to come, and we're going to get all of this set up. We're going to buy food for you to come and partake. So I've really found that stories are huge. Stories of our people. We have a Formed by Jesus podcast where we interview people from our church. I also just chat with Pastor Caleb, my associate pastor, after the messages, and it's all practice-based, and it's a huge part of our church. And so here's what we do. We share the 5 priorities of our church, and then we take a priority and we show a picture of somebody who represents that priority within the life of our church. And so I'm not going to show you that material. That changes just because we want to highlight different people within the life of our church. But often we give a QR code to say, hey, if you want to know about this person's story, check out this YouTube video as we interview, X, Y, and Z, and you'll hear their story a little bit more. So the 5 priorities that we have my wife's texting me to see if I started dinner. Yes. The 5 priorities. And we use the word values, and I'm not against the word values, but my coach actually has been taking me through a culture map. It's been very, very helpful, and they're using the language of priorities, and I think that's a faithful way to present what we're doing. We talk about the 5 priorities. No matter what we do, everything goes through the filter of these 5 priorities, and I like to share within this, those 20 minutes, because Pastor Caleb starts it, and I jump in midway. I like to share it like it's a bouquet of flowers, where these are the 5 flowers I'm giving, imagine I'm giving bouquet to my wife. If one of those flowers is bad, the whole bouquet is bad. And so we're saying, man, we want to make sure we nurture all 5 priorities. So quickly, here's our 5 priorities, because if you dig in our website long enough, you'd find them anyways. We are Jesus first, practice-based, honor-filled, homegrown, and mission-focused. I'll focus on one just to give you an example of what I mean. Homegrown is a huge priority of ours. What we mean by that is we really believe in making disciples, not just attenders. And so if we really do believe that, then that means the leaders we have, we should raise up from within, not just hire from without. And so majority of our leaders that we've had within the life of our church, it's not like we went on a job board. We just raise them up. And so that's a huge priority. And so I talk about that. That's a huge priority in our church. And then I show the next slide of Lexi. Lexi is our worship leader. And then I share her story. She's been on the podcast before. So I show the QR code and I say, you know what? Here's what's cool about Lexi. We actually knew her before she was a believer. Then she got saved. She went to Thailand with us and she learned how to share her testimony. God really did a great work there. Then she was like, hey, I can sing. And then she went into backup as a backup singer, harmonizer. And then this opportunity led to the next. And now she's an integral part of our church. She is our worship leader. She's a huge part of our groups, all of the stuff. I like to share her story and brag about her and just say, yeah, back in 2017, you know, she was just somebody visiting with no church background. And now she is helping lead our congregation in songs. And so that's a good example. Stories really stick out to people. To us, these priorities are more 30,000 feet. I'm not getting into the weeds of what kind of ministries we have and what we don't have. I'm not talking about all the different processes we take people through and how we integrate them and make them disciples. And I also realized I shouldn't just relegate the first Sunday of every month to tell people how we make disciples. Honestly, every Sunday at our church, you should be hearing how we make disciples here at Passion Creek. It shouldn't just be for that little class. So comment below any questions you have. We found a lot of fruit from that. We have just seen a lot of grace and a lot of favor. And I think clarity is kindness, and clarity also produces confidence. And so it's really helped a lot of people jump on board because we kind of have a clear first step. We also have a second step called Growth Track. Comment below if you're interested in me making a video on that. Grace and peace. Thank you for watching today's video. This is the video I think you should watch. This is the video YouTube says you should watch.